Hey everyone, Eric with Rockin' H TV, Rockin' H Farm Toys, and I wanted to stretch out a little truck action today. We're on lesson 4 of our Welker Farms 1/64 scale replica of their 9370, and earlier today I went ahead and stripped down a frame. We did some other work to our project to get it along. We actually have the cabin primer, which is really cool, and then we were going to do some paint here soon. I'm actually going to go out and buy another color of paint because I think the one I have is good for the frame but not for the rest of the cab. Anyway, long story short, I went ahead and during that last lesson we went ahead and stripped this frame down and then put it in lacquer thinner to strip the paint off. I've gone ahead and cleaned the paint off of the frame, as you can see. So what I want to do is stretch this down. Okay, we're going to make it shorter. This frame obviously is way too long, and where is my cab? Let me grab the cab. I set it down here. So if you look at this, this is basically where the cab would sit on the frame. Well, that is just extremely too long. That is way too long. This is like, I don't know, 300 and some inches long. I forget. Or I don't even know. But anyhow, so what we're going to do is make this frame shorter to match up with the truck better. Now, I went on the internet and I did a little research looking for 86, 85, 9370s, trying to figure out how long the frame is. What I came up with was 200 was pretty common and 234 was pretty common. So what I'm actually going to do is go with the 234. That's going to take 1.5 inches out of this frame, or 1.25 inches out of this frame mathematically. So what we're going to do is, I'll tell you the math and then you can figure it out on your own. A 234-inch frame measures from the front spindle to the middle of the tandems, basically where the kingpin, or excuse me, the fifth wheel plate would pivot on this frame, excuse me. If you take 234 divided by 64, yeah, I didn't either, Kyler. I just decided I was going to do it today. Just was in the mood. So if you take 234 inches divided by 64, 1/64 scale of an inch, you will get 2.6 something or other. I rounded down to 3 5/8 inches, okay? So a 234 inch wheelbase is going to be 3 5/8 more or less. It's just a hair longer to be absolutely correct, but who cares about a hair? We're talking about a 1/16 or something if you were to do the math all the way out. But we're not going to do that. So we're just going to go 3 5/8. Now this frame measures 4 7/8 from where the spindles would go, where the front axle would go, to the middle of the tandems. That's 4 3/8. So if you take 4 7/8 here, subtract 3 5/8, you get 1.25 inches. That's how the math works. So we're going to take 1 1/4 inches out of the middle of this frame. Now, excuse me, we are going to, I want to show you just a couple things here. Okay. So we're going to shorten this bad boy up. So we're going to take basically 1 1/4 inches out right here. Okay. So from right behind this place where a fuel tank would go on the Kenworth model so I'm actually going to start right behind this tab and go right about here. That way I can use some brass tubing to go ahead and marry the frame back together again and make it strong. Hi Daniel, good to see you. Thanks for watching. Yeah, it would make a sweet show truck if I left it that long. That's what Kyler's saying. So basically, gonna start, now you can't hardly see any of this. Let me flip my phone around so you can see this better. And then I won't have you look at the tools. There you go. So more or less, I'm gonna take that 1.25 inches out. Right here. Okay. Let me get a marker here so I have something to write with. Let's do a red one. Okay. So Here's my 1.25 inches right here. And I want to leave enough frame on both ends that I can attach some channel tubing, channel brass to marry the frame back together and make it look nice and neat. Okay, so that's kind of what we're doing here. Let me go for a ride here. We'll go for a quick ride. And I'm going to put you here because last time I did this, the vibration really made the phone, made the camera a bit blurry. Okay, let's take another quick look down here. Okay, and then you can see what I'm doing as I'm doing it. All right, there we go. So what I've done here is we've taken, that's how much shorter the frame is going to be. I'm actually going to go to my sander quick. I'm going to just clean up this edge because it's not perfectly straight. I'll do that on both sides. And then, so this is basically what we're looking at here to dry fit everything together and just give you an idea of what we're looking at. So that's going to look a ton better than what we had before, okay? Take a look at that. That's going to look a lot better, I think. One thing we'll have to do is, right, so I'm going to go sand this. So just hang with me here. Matt, I'll give you just a quick look. Here we go. There's my sander. Okay. And back around. Here you go. And here we are back here. Okay. So this is now waste. Now you'll notice there was these tabs at the back where we cut. There were also those same tabs right here. Well, excuse me, right here. I didn't really want those because I want to be able to put channel iron right over those, like so, and give me more room for the channel to go. And it looks like I may need to sand my frame rails just a little bit. Now, as I always say in my videos, you do not need fancy tools to do what I do. So I'm going to show you just an example of that. Okay, see how that tab right there is still kind of pronounced a little? I want to clean that off just to give my brass a nice place to go. Okay, let's dry fit this and see how we're doing. And this is 7/32 inch brass channel. Where did I buy this? What I actually did was bought a piece of square tubing and I cut it in half. That's why you see kind of an uneven line right here. You see an uneven line? And then there's also burrs inside there. That's because I find brass channel hard to buy. However, I think Truckin' Little carries it. I don't know if it's on his website or not, but I know I bought some from him in St. Louis. I should have bought a bunch, and I didn't. It's $4 for a 12-inch stick. But what I do is I just go to my local hardware store where they sell this brass, and I buy 7/32 square tube, and then, like I say, I cut it in half. It's not ideal, but it does get me what I want. Okay. So now the burrs are gone. And look at that. Now we can go clear up here, and look at that. We're gonna have a nice piece of channel to grab a hold of. All right. And it looks like I may need to file just the top of that frame to get a little bit more what I want. Yeah, okay, I like that. Okay. Okay, so that's what we want right there, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, let me see. Well, there's another little edge here. I wanna get rid of that. Perfect. Okay. Okay, see, I'm just kind of shining that up, just taking the edges off a little bit. Okay. Okay, so that's what we want right there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm liking what we're doing. Okay. Now, you'll notice right there, our channel can't go past this little lip right here. So we're just gonna measure this. We're gonna rough it out. We can always make it shorter. We're gonna go from right there to, so I need a piece of channel that's about 1 inch and say 1 inch and 9/16 or 1.5 inches. Let's do 1.5 inches. So we'll just make us a little mark here, 1.5 inches. And then we're going to do 1.5 inches again. Again, don't need fancy tools. If you don't have fancy tools, that's okay. You can do everything I'm doing without them. And that's the point of me doing these videos for you, is I want you to be able to see you can do whatever you want. You just got to decide, are you going to do it or not? Okay. You may not be able to watch me cut, but who cares? It's just me cutting a piece of brass. Right? So if all you have is a handsaw like I've got, you can do it. Actually, and I've got a couple Dremels in my bandsaw over there, but I know not all of you watching have that stuff, so we're not going to, we don't have to use power tools all the time, although I like to. Whoop, all right, you there. Now, you can buy DCP frames that you do not need to stretch, because they may very well already be the right or correct length. It just happens that I have had this one on hand for a while, and instead of buying another one, I just decided I'm going to use what I have, and that's the reason to do it this way. Now, let's see here. See, is this? That one's right. Okay, those are both pretty close. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. So, shop around for some frames. If you can buy something that's close, then you can use it without having to stretch it. And that is perfectly fine. That is A-okay if you can find them. They are around, just so you know. So we're going to butt that up, just like so. And come on. Get over there. Okay, doesn't. Oh, and one other thing, you can use these skills that you're learning on any truck that might need to be shortened up. Okay, so you buy another truck and you don't like the frame length, you can always apply these skills elsewhere, because they're all basically the same. Some frames take 1/4 inch versus 3/32, and it's always good to have a variety of brass on hand. It's pretty tight. Okay, so what we're going to do is fix that. Watch this. There. See how I took a little bit off? Why fight it? It's just die cast, right? There. Ta-da. Okay. and we are gold. There's our stretch. Now, let's put this on here and take a look and see how we're getting on. Okay, now this is, obviously we're dry fitting here, but see, that's how long our frame length will be now because we made the stretch. Okay, let's take a look at this quick. We're gonna go ahead and get a little bit of this action on here. Okay, and this is what I'm using. Okay, it's not fancy, but it does work on this for this purpose, just so you know. I'm just putting a little bit inside there. Okay. And then we're gonna make sure we're straight. Uh-oh, no, we're not perfectly straight. Let's go ahead and, okay. And we're just gonna make sure that everything's nice and straight here. And we're looking pretty darn good. That is golden, that's gonna work. Okay, we're gonna let this frame dry. As soon as the frame is dry, we can prime and paint. So that is what we got. So guys, that's how we are shortening the frame on our Welker International 9370 replica build along. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section there. I'll answer anything you want to know about this build and everything else. So, and there's also a couple of the videos that have already been done. This is number 4 in the series. And the next one will be, we've primed our cab. So I'm actually going to go out and buy another can of paint to match up the lighter color on the cab. I watched the video a couple times a day of their finished truck, and it does look like the frame is a lighter shade of brown than the lighter brown on the actual cab. So you have a dark brown and a light brown and an orange, blaze orange stripe. I think I'm going to go to Hobby Lobby today and see if I can find a darker shade of brown to go with it. You know, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. I don't have any paint codes, so I'm basically taking the phone and looking at paint lids, thinking, no, is that close or not? And then that's how I'm actually matching the paint. So it's not scientific, but it's what I have. And I avoid buying, I found a paint code that might work online from an old 1985 brochure, but I really don't want to spend 30 bucks on a can of mixed paint, which is what I'm buying from R&E Paints out of Arkansas. So I think if I were doing more than one, or maybe if I had 4 or 5 of these I was putting together, I would go ahead and spring for the good paint, because then I'd turn them for, you know, $300-400. But anyway, I'm not doing that. Actually, that might be more like $250-300 actually. It really depends on how long it takes me to mask and paint. If that eats up a bunch of time, that makes the price different. But I'm not doing any of that, so why am I even talking about it? All right, guys. Here's the deal. Like, comment, share. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. If you don't know about it, on Facebook at Rockin' H Farm Toys on Facebook, every Monday night at 8:30 Central, I do a build-along series of something. Right now, what are we building along here? Where's it at? For those of you that are interested, we are building this Roadrunner sprayer trailer out of brass. We're hand making this out of brass. And this morning I did a live video, because I'm actually going to be gone this Monday, where we put all these stringers in and finished out our frame a little bit. So if you didn't know about it, those videos end up here on YouTube, but if you want to watch it live, 8:30 Central on Monday nights is when I do those videos as well. And I'm teaching all different sorts of skills and stuff like that at that place, along with here at YouTube. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you subscribing, and we'll see you next time. Bye.